Must have been a little after 3 o'clock in the afternoon that it began. The afternoon of June 3rd, 1916.
Fire 1, fire 2.
This could have been the end. The end of just another tragic episode in war at sea. But for the few survivors of a torpedoed merchant ship and the crew of a German U-boat lost in the frozen South Atlantic, it was the beginning of an incredible adventure. For this was the day the 20th century met the primeval world face to face. American International presents The Land That Time Forgot, an astounding motion picture based on the book by Edgar Rice Burroughs, creator of Tarzan and the most thrilling science fiction stories ever written. Travel through an underwater passage and discover an awesome prehistoric world. Fight for your life against the terrifying creatures of a lost continent. Come face to face with primitive man and learn the secret of evolution. The Land That Time Forgot.
Mr. Tyler!
Starring Doug Mclure.
There's a secret to this island. Something that we haven't been able to fathom yet. And whether we stay or get away may depend on it.
It's action, danger, and adventure on an epic scale.
How much longer do we give them?
We're not leaving without them! Forget Skipper!
You will never forget Edgar Rice Burroughs' The Land That Time Forgot.
Hello and welcome to another episode of It Could Have Been a Classic. And this week we've been travelling down through the corridors of time and space, looking for that thing that could be just have that thing within it that makes it awesome. Or it could be terrible and it's down the toilet of eternity. But this week we're going to be talking about the legend himself, Doug Mclure, killer of all monsters, and this is the guy that could fart and knock Godzilla on his ass. And we're going to be talking about the first monster film Doug Mclure was in, The Land That Time Forgot, and the sequel, I think it's The People That Land That Time Forgot, I forgot what the sequel was called. And I bought the box set of the first three movies, The Warlords of Atlantis and The Land That Time Forgot, and Journey to the Earth's Core with Peter Cushing, which we'll be covering that pretty soon at some point. But Doug Mclure is an absolute legend to me. I just love this guy. His career has been amazing. I loved him in Cannonball Run 2. He was hilarious with Klinger. But he is the true monster killer. You know, he took on the rubber monsters. So we're going to be talking about, obviously I've just said, The Land That Time Forgot. It was made in 1974, and I saw it at the cinema in 1975. And it was financed by a co-production, Amicus production. It was an American UK production, and it wasn't filmed anywhere exotic. The land of Caprona was set in a quarry in Berkshire. Yep, that's where they filmed it. Yeah, unfortunately, yeah. So there were no luxury holidays filming in the Caribbean or anywhere like that. Yeah, in a quarry. No doubt the same quarry where they did Doctor Who and Blake 7. So the film sets up Doug Mclure's on an ocean liner with Susan Penhaligon. Great cast in this movie. And she was a babe as well. So they're on this ocean liner and it gets torpedoed by a German submarine. And the survivors find the submarine. They get on. I think they get rescued. I'm going to watch the full film this afternoon, so forgive me. I'm going by memory. And there's a bit of a showdown on the submarine. Something happens, and they all have to work together. And they end up finding this isle somewhere near Antarctica, and they go through this cave system and surface in this big lake. And it's full of monsters and cave people. And evolution takes this batshit crazy thing. It's moving really fast and changing and all this. And the island's changing. It's just, and this is about where they start studying it, and there's a bit of a showdown and all this with cave people and that. And it becomes rather interesting, but there's a volcano ready to go off. But the monsters were actually hand puppets. They didn't use stop motion, which is sort of interesting. The film was rated on Rotten Tomatoes at 50, I think it got 50%. For me, I'd give it a lot more than that, because it's just a classic movie. But all in all, I just love the concept of this film. Great action scenes. The concept about evolution and everything really works in this film. This is your standard adventure. Doug Mclure is like the hero. When you're a kid, you want to be Doug Mclure. And, you know, there's like the cave people start teaching them things and they're studying them. It's sort of interesting, but lots of monsters. There's the rubber monsters and Doug fighting pterodactyls and well, he don't take on T-Rexes, but we've got one on the loose, obviously an ample. They used hand strings as well. And it were all filmed in Shepperton Studios, which was sort of interesting. But, you know, my dad took me to see this at the cinema, and it was absolutely amazing. Originally did want Doug Mclure to cast in this, but Doug Mclure refused, which I was quite shocked when I was looking into the film. So they signed the actor Stuart Whitman, and then something happened, and Samuel Zed of Arkoff of American International Pictures came on board as co-financer, providing the bulk of the budget, but would only make the film if McClure was cast. Then McClure changed his mind and agreed to do the film. And Kevin O'Connor said Doug was a great asset in fight scenes. He was especially good due to his hours of American TV action films and TV. He knew exactly where the camera was at all times and threw punches precisely where the effects would work for the screen. He was always cooperative and came up with many ideas. Now, shooting began in 1974. Said that it did last 16 weeks. I was surprised at that. And obviously Shepperton Studios were used for filming. Well, some of the scenes of Caprona, like I said, were in a quarry. Kevin O'Connor realised, I think he was the director, realised the reason we went for the hand puppet was for a more fluid look. Roger Deakins, who created the dinosaur, did such fine details and had the movement down so well that we went with him and used that technique. So, like, I suppose the cost of stop motion would have been a lot of money and it would have took a lot longer. So they developed the use of a small VistaVision camera to shoot the dinosaur background plates, which gave us great quality because the exposed frame is twice the size of a normal 35mm. Everything was shot from front projection as well. The U-boat and ships were models, yeah, but they didn't look like the one in the poster, did they, with the windows? And the dinosaurs and other prehistoric animals obviously were hand puppets. And Amicus was to make 2 more Burroughs adaptations. The people that time forgot, sorry I keep getting that wrong, a direct sequel to his film starring Patrick Wayne and Sarah Douglas. Patrick Wayne was free. I think he did a lot of Sinbad movies, saw all them as well. And Sarah Douglas, I'm actually friends with her on Facebook, and she's really nice. And McClure in an appearance midway towards the end, and At the Earth's Core. Now I love it, At the Earth's Core, with Peter Cushing. With McClure in a different role, Peter Cushing, of course, the queen of monster movies, Caroline Munro. All 3 films were distributed in the United States by American International Pictures. Now, this is, honestly, I would like to see this remade. You know, this is the classic. It's not even going to, I'm not even going to give a reason to put this film through, because this film is just awesome. Do you know what I mean? A lot of people are going to think it's cheesy. Of course it is, but that's what's so beautiful about it. And Doug McClure's in it. I mean, come on. This guy could fart and knock out fucking Godzilla. Now, there is a lot going on in this film, because there is sort of this mistrust with the the Germans and the Allies, because they're all forced into working together. And the captain of the U-boat, he's sort of like a bit of a scientist, because they start analysing like all the bacteria, and they realise that evolution's it's a place where it's constantly changing, which I found interesting. That it's moving super quick, and they're there, and it's like, if you brought this back as a TV series, I'd have it where thousands of years ago aliens created the island of Caprona, and it was an experiment, and somehow there's like an interdimensional shield around the island. It's on Earth, but it's sort of phased out, and a modern submarine goes in, scientists don't know, but somebody knows about. There's like an expedition, but it's a military thing, and they end up stuck on the island with submarine, and they start meeting different civilizations there, but evolution's moving all the time. And it starts coming out as a twist that the aliens were experimenting with evolution, but they died off through their own creations, and this experiment's still running. And they have to get to somewhere on island to switch it all off, because it's getting out of control. Because eventually at some point it's going to... Well, if the shield collapses, everything on this island will spread into like our time and reality. I mean, the potential for a TV series for this, The Land That Time Forgot, but taking it beyond what it is incredible. And this is where I'd go with this film. I'd have like... should it be set during that time? No, I think I'd make it 2023, 2024. Submarine goes, a good team of scientists. It's a military expert, but somebody on board knows more than everybody else, and there's some device that controls evolution, but it's out of control, and they've got to go in and stop it. But there's like military potential, and there's like different faction, but there's advanced type. They could make some kind of advanced life form that wants to get off the island. I'm not going down the territory of Lost, but I just think there's a lot here, and you could do a 5-season arc with this, or what about 3 movies? I mean, I did like the second movie. I wasn't a fan of the second movie as much as I was of the first. I think the second movie, to me, it is a classic, but it's not the first one. Do you know what I mean? My love for this film overrides the second one, because like the second, it's like Planet of the Apes. Remember when you got Taylor in the second one, but he sort of turned up slightly at the beginning and then at the end. It's like Doug Mclure in the second version of this. It's like the same. He turns up right at the beginning where you see him throw that bottle into sea as the island's changing its evolutionary patterns again. And what I do then, these new people turn up and they meet him, and that's what I do, because when they start in a TV series, in a modern thing, I do it where somebody's been there before and they meet this person. But I got that sense with the second film, but it never quite hit the gel. But this film, The Land That Time Forgot, is amazing. It's a shame we never got the submarine on the poster and the monster firing the energy beam out. It would have sort of been interesting. But these are my thoughts on this film. I adore this film, and today I'm going to watch all 3 movies. It's going to be a Doug Mclure day. So please, if you like what I've done, please subscribe. Please give us a like, and let me know your thoughts. And I will see you on the next video. Live long and prosper.